Scammers are working hard this summer to get as much money and personal information from unsuspecting consumers as possible. They're using robotexting, charity scams, and fraudulent surveys, to name just a few tactics to target older Americans.
Hello, I'm Tammy Arender, and welcome to this edition of Rural America Live with AARP. You know, consumers report losing more than $10 billion to fraud in 2023, once again proving that frauds and scams are big business. Tonight, we take a look at the hot scams of the summer, and we'll share ways to keep your personal information and money safe. Our question of the month is, how many fake texts are you getting, and how do you stop them? We are giving away a carry-all tote to 5 lucky on-air callers. So pick up that phone, join our conversation. We are wasting no time in taking your calls. The phone lines are open, so call now, 877-283-7570. Well, you don't need to be a member of AARP or be over 50 to win. And as a reminder, you can win only once each calendar year. Now, we want to let those who are winners tonight know that an AARP volunteer will call you back using the number that you called from. So be aware, it may be from a number that you don't recognize. And it won't be tonight, but they will call in the next few days to confirm your mailing address. Now, if you are a past winner and have not received your cooler, be sure to return their call and provide a shipping address. Now, AARP pays all the shipping costs. Now, we know there are a few past winners that have not received their tote carry-all, and we really want to get those to you as soon as possible. So please return any calls that you've gotten from our AARP volunteers. And if you're not a lucky winner tonight, you can enter AARP's Second Chance Sweepstakes at aarp.org/AARP Live, or you can scan that QR code on the screen to enter. One carry-all tote will be given away each month with the winner. Now, rules apply, and you can only win one time in a calendar year. We will announce June's Second Chance winner a little later in tonight's show. Our phone lines are open, so give us a call, 877-283-7570. Join our conversation. We are ready to take your call. I do want to welcome our AARP friends back to Rural America Live. We've got our AARP Fraud Victim Support Director, Amy Nofziger, and our AARP Oklahoma State Director, Sean Voskuhl.
Good to be with you.
So good to have you guys here. Plus, get this, we have got a couple of members of the Oak Ridge Boys. They will be joining us in just a little bit. So give us a call. You'll be able to talk to them as well. 877-283-7570. Phone lines are open. We would love to hear from you. But let's talk about these hot summer scams.
Yeah.
We're really not trying to be funny, because they are some hot scams going on. Amy, what are you hearing coming into your hotline?
Yeah, so what we're hearing on the helpline right now are text messages, like scams coming in via text message, right? And that was the question of the month. We want to hear from callers tonight what text messages they're getting. Also, we're hearing about romance scams. So romance scams are very popular. You know, people are looking for love online, or they might even be on social media, and they're just having maybe a conversation with someone in like their classic car fan club or something. The next thing you know, a relationship starts, and then the criminal is asking for money. So we hear romance scams on the helpline every day. And these are not only emotionally devastating, they're financially devastating as well, sadly. Social media scams, right? I just talked about it. Whether you're on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, any place that you are talking with strangers, the criminals are there waiting for you. We're seeing a lot of pet scams on social media, and we're seeing a lot of people selling items that are just not there or just not what you think you're purchasing. Impostor emails and phone calls. This is where you'll get an email from someone pretending to, let's say, be Amazon or Best Buy, saying there's a problem with your computer. We've all gotten these. Do not click on any links and do not call the phone number included in this email. It is nothing but a scam. Send it to delete. That also goes for the calls. We're still getting a lot of phone calls. A lot of robocalls are coming in, whether they're coming in as a sweepstakes opportunity, a government imposter scam. We're hearing a lot of people being victimized by phone calls. And then finally, the last one that we're hearing a lot about on the Fraud Watch Network helpline is identity theft. Our information is out there, right? Whether you put it out there or it was a breach or a hack, but we have to be careful with our identities. And this also goes to making sure you look through your wallet, you look through your purse, you're not carrying your social security card with you. We know a lot of people's information is being stolen that way.
Right, identity theft is such a huge thing. Everything you just mentioned, and one of the things too that is so irritating to me, the robotexting. It is just phenomenal how much that has increased. How are folks? I mean, they're getting through to everybody through this robotexting, aren't they?
Well, that's a big one, and we've got an interesting graphic to show folks because we're going to reveal what's the #1 robo-scam text that's out there. So if you're wondering out there, as we see it go, 1.1 billion with a B, and that big number is for those delivery texts you get, whether it's from an Amazon or United States Postal Service. The delivery texts are the #1 robo-scams in 2023, and we know that people are inundated with them every day and all day long and twice on Sundays.
Yep.
That is so common. So what advice do you have? What do we do?
Well, there's some steps you can take, and we've got some graphics to kind of help you through that. And it's important really to check your phone for an option to filter and block those messages. You can go to your settings and look under messages, and there's a little toggle there that you can switch to help you do that. You can also get a call blocking app. And I would encourage you to call your provider, whether it's AT&T or your local or your rural telephone cooperative, to see what call blocking apps that they provide, because they're supposed to do that as a provider, making sure you can get those free apps that you can use. Also, take a photo, a picture of that message. Make sure it has a phone number on there as well, and forward that message to 7726 spam. And so that will also help to get that removed, those pesky robotext scams.
We're all getting them.
Everyone's getting them. And so these are 3 ways to help hopefully stop those from happening.
Right.
Congress passed the TRACE Act in 2020. And so there are additional penalties in place against these robo-scams. It's not going to catch everyone, but they are putting additional pressure on those providers to help you and help them as their customers to block those messages.
Right. So there are ways to do it. And it goes back to kind of the basics too, of just, if you don't know that person, if you're not familiar. Now, I'm going to say this. I've missed a few important phone calls because somebody's changed a phone number, but I was too scared to answer it or click that text because I didn't know it. And I would rather do that and them track me down than them have access to my information.
They don't leave me a message, I don't pick it up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I hear that from a lot of people. They say, well, what if I miss an important phone call? If it's important, they will call you back.
They will get if it's somebody you know, they know how to get in touch with you more than one way, and that phone number. So so that is very, very good advice. Well, there is so much to talk about tonight. I do know that we need to take a break, and when we come back, we've got the Oak Ridge Boys. They're going to join us, and we have our carry-all totes to give away to 5 lucky on-air callers. We want to join that conversation. We want you to join that conversation. Give us a call, 877-283-7570. We'll be right back.
When your wallet goes missing, it can be incredibly stressful. Losing the cash you had is bad enough, but your credit cards and ID can be a goldmine for criminals to carry out credit card fraud and identity theft. What to do after your wallet is lost or stolen? First, cancel all your cards by calling the companies that issued them. Start with your debit card because it doesn't have as many protections as credit cards do. Next, make sure to submit a police report right away. The criminal may never get caught, but if someone tries to use your information, you have evidence of the theft. Freeze your credit. Contact each of the 3 credit reporting agencies and ask them to put a freeze on your credit report. This will prevent someone from opening up credit in your name. Here's a pro tip. You can sign up for fraud alerts on your financial accounts and they will notify you if there's any suspicious activity. For more tips, go to aarp.org/fraudwatchnetwork.
Welcome back to Rural America Live with AARP. We've got a great show for you tonight, and we do want to hear from you. The phone lines are open. You can pick up the phone, give us a call at 877-283-7570. 5 lucky on-air callers will win a carry-all tote, so give us a call. Again, that number, 877-283-7570, and you could be a winner. Now, if you're not a lucky winner tonight, you can enter AARP's Second Chance Sweepstakes at aarp.org/AARP Live, or scan that QR code on your screen to enter. One tote will be given away each month, with the winner announced during next month's program. Now, we will announce last month's winner a little later in this show. Well, I'm here with the director of the Fraud Watch Helpline, Amy Nofziger, and director for AARP Oklahoma, Sean Boskel. And we have 2 very special guests joining us now. We have Dwayne Allen and Richard Sturban of the Oak Ridge Boys. Guys, welcome into the show. It is so good to have you guys. And of course, we're all still kind of in shock over losing Joe Bonsall, such a special guy. I can't even imagine what you guys are going through right now. How are you holding up?
I think I'm doing pretty good. I pray each day for God to just give me divine direction and strength. And our family and our friends are filling in the gaps. Yeah. And I keep hearing from friends that just keep popping up along the way, and that some say, I waited a few weeks to get in touch with you, or a few days to get in touch with you, because I knew you would be bombarded. Mm-hmm. But what they don't realize is you need it now too. Yeah. You know, you need it now just as much as you needed it the day after.
Because he was family to you guys.
Yeah,
you guys have been together a long time.
And Richard and Joe had actually sung together in a group before the Oak Ridge Boys.
I read that somewhere. Yeah. So you had been...
And actually, Joe and I knew each other long before either of us had any dream that someday we would sing in the Oak Ridge Boys. You know, I was singing in a group one time called the Eastman Quartet. Yeah. And Joe had his family group called the Faith Four. And it was a part-time singing job, so I had to work during the week. And I sold men's clothes in a store in Philadelphia called Gimbel Brothers. Joe would come into the store and he would buy shirts and stuff from me, but mostly we'd come in and hang out and talk. We'd talk about singing, you know, and we never dreamed that someday we would end up spending over 50 years together as members of the Oak Ridge Boys. So
I have got chill bumps with that
it's pretty amazing. It is, yes.
Oh, divine intervention from way back when. Let's talk about you guys, though, and your relationship with AARP and why you're here tonight.
Well, we've been with AARP for several years now, and it's so good to see Amy and Sean because they know all the details. You know,
we try.
We get all the spooks. I think probably the biggest part of where we have a little problem is people claiming to be one of our members, you know, and they'll go on a social site and they'll post a picture, maybe the same one we're using, and start a conversation with some of our fans and get them to following them, and first thing you know, they're asking them for money. Yes. And so we have to really be on guard for those scammers who they scam all ages, not just the elderly. Absolutely. We really teamed up with AARP because we wanted to help people. We're talking about elderly abuse. That's us. You know, we're in that category now, you know, and we wanted to just make people aware that these people are out there and they look for obits and things like that in the paper, and boy, they come on really strong. And we're just trying to help people be aware that they're out there waiting for us.
I've always said that if these people would have put as much energy into something
so true.
productive or a business, because they're clever. I mean, a lot of them are really smart. They're pulling off some real tricks here to get their money. We want to go ahead.
No, it's been a special relationship.
Yes, it has.
You know, as a super fan and love the music forever. We were able to announce that partnership in Tulsa, Oklahoma, back in 2019, and they're such great ambassadors, and you know, we just became fast friends, and Joe was a big.
He cared so much about the work,
and it's just a partnership made in heaven. You know, it's just working together, and you can see all the work they've done working with our volunteers and Aarp across the country, and it's a special relationship. And so when it's like family, so when you lose a family member, it's really tough on everybody.
And I can tell from the photos that you guys too, I mean, they didn't just phone it in, as they say, or come here to the studio because they live here in Nashville. They wanted to be out and about and meet folks.
We're so lucky to have this relationship. And for you to say it, because on the helpline, we hear about these celebrity imposter scams every single day, and people are losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. To hear from a celebrity to say, it's not us, we're not asking you for money, it means so much to the consumers and to the viewers to hear it straight from your mouth. And Joe did the same thing, and you know, it was just really heartbreaking to hear of his passing.
There have been several sites set up on Facebook, for example, with Joe's name on it. Well, Joe never used Facebook. That was my part that I did with the group. Joe took care of Twitter or X, and I took care of Facebook. And other members of our organization took care of the other sites. But when every time I see a new face pop up with Joe's name on it, and there have been several since he passed away, it makes you think, don't these people have anything to do? You know, like just scamming people after their death, and don't they have any feelings for their family? Well, no, they don't. They don't. That's what they do.
That is their job.
Yeah, they're cold.
They're cold and heartless and greedy.
You have to really just get on top of it and turn their name in.
That's right.
There are people who
don't just
can help
ignore
you.
it. Report it.
There are people with Aarp and Aarp Watch and all of the things we are associated with that can help you.
And help a lot.
And
we're going to get into that.
these are your experts.
Absolutely.
They know exactly what to do.
Yes, and we're going to run down some of those details here in just a minute. But right now we have Catherine on the phone from Indiana, and you are a winner. Congratulations, Catherine. Do you have a question?
Yes, I have an 86-year-old friend. She has dementia now, and I've been taking care of her for a long time. She had a stroke a couple months ago, and she's back home. And she keeps getting these calls, and I tell her, I said, don't give them anything. Don't give them anything. So finally, I wrote down a fake Social Security number for her to give out, so she feels like she's doing what she's supposed to be doing or what she thinks she has to do. And I think it's working. I hope it's not somebody else's number, but I had to do something because she was very adamant about talking to them and giving out her, information, her Social Security number, her birth date. I even put the wrong birth date on it. And she said, "Is that my birthday?" And I said, "Oh, yes, that's your birthday, honey." Because she has dementia now. And so I hope I did the right thing. But I'm starting to get them then too, so I'm starting to do things. I just don't even answer most of the time if it's a number. So when you call back, I hope that I can answer it.
I think, first of all, thank you so much for what you're doing for your friend and your family and taking care of them, Catherine. So really appreciate that. And, we hear from a lot of family members with similar kind of struggles that you're having. Like, how do I get my loved one to stop picking up the phone, to stop giving personal information? Older adults grew up in a different time, where someone asked you a question, you kind of answered it. So, I'm not going to tell you what you're doing is wrong. I think it's very creative, to think of another number out there and to give it to them, because if she's feeling like she's doing what she's supposed to do and you're not struggling with that, great job. You know, other things that family members can do is write notes by your phone. If you have a loved one that likes to pick up the phone, write a note to say, remember, Mom, don't give out your birthday, or remember, do not send money. We are all busy. We all need reminders. I've even heard people put a note on the back of their front door to remind themselves if the doorbell rings that they don't have to answer it and they don't have to give money over the door. So thank you for sharing that tip. I'm sure you're helping a lot of people tonight. Sean, do you have anything to add?
I do. Aarp just has done a great article about helping deal with individuals who have cognitive decline. And if you would go to arp.org/fraudwatchnetwork, it's just, there's like 10 or 15 extra steps you can take, because those are difficult conversations and people are independent with their money. And so there are some steps to take. Also, it's important that we think about the Bank Safe program too. Aarp is working with banks so they can help the bank employees know if someone's getting taken advantage of.
Spot it,
and spot it. And so those are some good things in places. So we've got a lot of resources, and encourage you to take a little time to read those, but she's on the right track.
Yeah, and always reach out to us on the Fraud Watch Network helpline, 877-908-3360. We have trained fraud specialists. We'll work with people just like Catherine in these situations to listen to them, to give them advice and resources out there. So it's free for anybody.
Right. No, I'm glad you gave that number out. And Catherine, congratulations once again. You are a winner. We appreciate you calling in. Now let's go to Florida and talk to Wilhelmina. Wilhelmina, you got a question?
Yes, I do. I have a friend who is elderly as well, and I was wondering if there is a something that she can do. She gets a lot of calls regarding the IRS, and I have told her on numerous occasions that the IRS do not make phone calls. They write you letters, but she has been scammed out of $18,000 with this IRS. And they threaten her and say, if you don't send the money now, and lately I've just been telling her, call someone and ask if it's legitimate, or call someone and ask to call for you to find out. Don't give out any information. And just recently, I'm not sure who the call was, but she got another call. And she did it again. She did $2,500. It was her tax money on her house. So my question is there a place that she can go to, or we who try to help her go to find out if it's obvious? We know that it's not a legitimate call, but for her to know that it's not legitimate.
Great question. I mean, again, she can certainly call us on the Fraud Watch Network helpline, and we can listen to what happened in that situation and say, you know, there are 5 red flags on that. That's 100% a scam. But you're doing a lot of great things in there, right? You're giving her the right information. A couple of other things, you know, Sean talked about it earlier, where you can look for a call blocking app if it's on like a smartphone. If it's on her landline, she should call her service provider and say, what can you do for me to stop these unknown callers, right? It's the unknown callers. And a lot of these phone numbers, sometimes they are recycled, but some of them are coming from the same source. So the phone company knows it, and they can scrub it and not actually let it come to her phone. But she also sounds like she might be a great candidate to have some notes by the phone, because we can't always be there with our loved ones. But putting a note by the phone that just says, remember, the IRS will never call you, or do not buy, you know, prepaid gift cards, or go to a crypto machine. But I'm so sorry your friend lost that money. That's devastating. Yeah,
definitely is. We thank you for calling in, Wilhelmina, and sharing that story with us. Now let's go to New Jersey, and let's welcome in Celine. You're a winner tonight. Congratulations. Celine, what's your question?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, here's my question. I constantly, and I mean constantly, daily get calls about these monies that they have for me, and do I want it? And I need all my personal information. But what is interesting is that their phone number never, ever, ever comes up on my phone. I can't block them because I don't know the phone number. And this has been happening for a while, and it started happening. I got scammed twice. My Medicare card got scammed 2 times this year. And I noticed that after that, I keep getting these calls. Is there any way that I can block it, a number that I don't even know that comes up on my phone?
I would contact Medicare and see about getting a new card with a different number if it's been scammed. I think that's an important thing to look at. I don't know beyond that if there's a way to, once you've been scammed, to just, never answer the phone or never, I mean, just don't pick it up. We're at the point in our lives now, if you don't know that person that's calling, and if it's important, they'll leave a message. And so, but if your Medicare card's scanned, I would be definitely talking to Medicare about, you've been scammed, what can I do? Surely they could issue a new card with a new number.
And we're all getting these calls.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are getting the calls. I mean, every single one of us is getting these calls. And I mean, I know it's really hard when your phone rings to not pick it up.
It's just,
but don't. Because I think some of us think, well, if I don't pick it up, I'm going to miss out on an opportunity. You're not. Right. There's no opportunity on the other line. Usually it's someone reminding you of a doctor's appointment or something like that, right? Because if it's on your smartphone, it'll be in your contacts. And if it's on your house phone, it can go to voicemail, right? So just let the phone keep ringing, because most of the time it's going to be a criminal trying to steal from you.
And if she wants something, you shouldn't have to pay a fee to
Exactly.
get it.
Right.
I mean, that's a huge red flag.
Yeah.
But I've not heard what she just described.
About not having the number?
About having the number. Has that happened to you guys?
Yes.
You get it with
Yeah.
no number?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I
haven't seen
mean, with
that yet.
the technology out there, I mean, everyone's talking about artificial intelligence. I mean, a lot of these tools have been out there for these criminals. I even get phone calls from my own phone number sometimes, and it takes you a second. You're like, why am I calling myself? Yeah. But so these criminals can mask what shows up, right? They can spoof it, and that probably means that they can have it without a number as well, which just leads to the curiosity of picking up the phone. So just don't answer it. Yeah.
Right. And that curiosity is what will get you. I know in my situation, my area code, instead of it being Nashville, it's actually 225, which is Baton Rouge, because I lived in Baton Rouge when I first got it. And I just haven't changed it.
Yeah.
But now the scammers, they always think, because they think I live in 225. So I never pick up. So all my Baton Rouge friends, I'm not going to pick up the phone, okay? Because every 225 number is like, you're a scam because you're just trying to get me. But
if my cows are out, I think they'll leave me a message.
That's right.
But if it's my family
That's
number,
right.
I don't have any money.
That's right.
Don't call me for money.
Exactly right. You shouldn't be calling me anyway. Amy, let's talk about, too, there's some proactive things I guess we can do, because you guys really kind of stay on top of what is the newest and latest as far as scams are concerned. Well, what are you hearing, and how can people be alerted to these new scams?
Well, first, and I think we have a graphic for it, we want everyone to be part of our watchdog alerts. This comes out from the Fraud Watch Network, and so you can actually text RFD to 50757, and this will sign you up for fraud alerts coming in via text, right? But trust me, we won't ask you for any money. We won't ask you to call a phone number or anything. We're just giving you good information. And additionally with that, one of the things I really want people to do, if you have a smartphone and you do banking on it, even if it's on your computer, make sure to always sign out of your apps and your bank account. I see, especially with like the Venmo, the Zelle and Cash App, I see a lot of people leaving those open on their phone. If someone steals your phone, they can go right into that account, transfer money out. Monitor your credit report, right? It's happening a lot. Monitor your credit report and audit your wallet and purse. Like I said at the top of the show, we're seeing a lot of thefts right now of wallets and purses. We have heard people carrying their birth certificate, their social security card, even their military papers. Like, that's gold mine to criminals. And then, as I just said, monitor your credit. Make sure that no one is accessing your credit and opening up credit cards in your name. Again, you can always call the helpline for more information on any of these, and we'll walk you through the steps on how to do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Good advice. Let's go to Virginia now and talk to Dee. Dee, welcome into the show. You have a question?
Yeah, well, it was more of a comment because I was always noticing that there was those texts that come from like the fake UPS and the fake
the deliveries.
Amazon and things like that. But I've been noticing lately in the last, say, couple of months, I'll just get a text with a familiar area code, so I know it. And then when you can see the first line or two of a text, and it'll say, hey, how are you doing? Or it's been a while. Or, hey, we want to meet up later for lunch. And it's just that. And that one just kind of threw me because I'm like, well, at first I answer it and then I'm like, or answer the text and then, of course, nothing happens. And I said, okay, after that, now I don't answer any of those. I just hold it and then delete it. I don't open them at all.
Yeah.
But that's happening quite a bit.
Dee, thank you for bringing this up.
Yes.
This is such a hot thing right now. You'll get a text message and it'll say, hey, you coming for dinner tonight? And you think, oh no, did I make dinner plans? And what? And you're like, sorry, I think you have the wrong number.
What are you cooking?
Yeah, what am I bringing? Wrong number. And then the person responds and says something like, oh, I'm so sorry to bother you. You sound really nice. Where are you located? The next thing, conversation, friendship, they always go to wanting you to invest with cryptocurrency. We're seeing people lose millions of dollars to this scam. So if you get a text message from someone pretending to know you, saying, or I've even gotten one that says, hey, Dr. Smith, Scruffy's sick. What time can I bring him in? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, poor Scruffy. I'm not the vet, right? And so I respond, and then I'm like, oh, don't respond. Yeah. But this is a very popular scam. So thank you for bringing that up, Dee. I mean, we've all probably gotten them.
Very good.
This is what great about this show is we always learn something new.
Absolutely.
And by sharing everyone's examples of what they're experiencing, we all learn from that.
We're helping each other.
This is a great show to do that.
Just today.
You got it?
Oh yeah, just today.
See?
And the first thing she wanted to do after she learned that I was from Tennessee, can we go to a different social site?
Oh, yes. Oh, they want to take you to WhatsApp or Telegram?
WhatsApp. Can we go to, that's exactly where she wanted to go. Can we go to WhatsApp? Well, the reason they want you to go to a different social site is because they get more information from you. Because if you follow their direction and go where they want you to go, then you'll answer another question or two because that's the pattern they go. So I usually throw them off. I usually I've got a bunch of crazy answers I give them now. I throw them on a goose chase.
Ian, you're such a good fraud
I just
fighter.
have fun with them.
That you're going to make them.
I just
tied up.
get them crazy, and they don't know which way they're turning before they get loose with me.
See, even the Oaks are getting these scams. We're all getting them.
Just
We're
today.
all getting them.
Just today.
Just
Not two
today.
today.
Yeah.
How do you guys stay on top of it? I mean, because you've got
Just
so
like
many
that.
followers, but you can't do that with everybody, can you?
Well, not everybody is like that.
Right.
There's only a few people in our group of people that get on there, and you can tell them really quickly. They're easy to spot. I ask them about something that they're not expecting. I'll start asking them questions.
You put them in the hot seat.
And if they can't answer me a question, I'll say, well, you didn't answer my first question.
Right.
Why are you asking me another question now?
Right.
And if they can't answer the first question I ask them, then I'm through with them.
There you go. Oh, wow, that's a great way to handle it. Let's go to Virginia now and welcome in Reed. Reed, what's your question?
I get numerous telephone calls on my landline for anywhere from Vermont to California to Florida, talking about the new things that have come out for Medicare. And can you hear me? And, of course, they want you to say yes. And I don't, maybe I might say I can hear you, but I'd never say yes because I understand that will get you in trouble right quick.
There you go.
Because you have committed for something. But is there anything that you can do to get rid of all these? Well, I mean, I run a trucking business, so if I recognize it's a semi-local call from around in the area I serve, well, I feel, hey, maybe I should pick this up. It might be somebody wanting to do business with me. And so I guess maybe from what I've been hearing, you folks say here on this evening, the best thing to do is just let it go and not pick it up. And then when I come in later on, just do all the erasing. And if somebody wants something, they'll leave word on the answer machine.
Yeah, you can certainly do that, Reed, is let it go to voicemail and pick it up later. But you sound like you got a pretty good refusal script going on if you do, by chance, get a scammer on the phone, is you're saying, I'm not giving you that information, click, right? Because it's not Medicare calling you. So you're doing all the right things to keep yourself safe. So, and thank you for sharing that, because Medicare fraud right now is big business. There's a lot of people out there.
I've had 24 calls from Medicare in the last 2 weeks.
See, right there.
Medicare.
Yep.
And you call that number back, and there's no answer.
Nope. Yeah. They want your Medicare number.
Or no, they won't answer, or it's out of service.
Yep.
And
They know they latched your number, so now they know that you've answered.
Right, right. Hard to believe all this. We do want you to continue to call in if you have questions. That number, 877-283-7570. We would love to be able to. You can talk to anybody here on this desk and get your questions answered tonight. Let's now go to Kentucky and talk to Mark. Mark, welcome. What's your question?
Well, I have a couple of comments first. I want to say hey to Ace and the Sturbanizer. I know they've been through a lot here lately. And matter of fact, I messaged Ace here lately about some stuff going on with us, but good to see you guys. I had two comments, kind of follow up on what the last gentleman was talking about. I'm not even qualified for Medicare yet, and I was getting calls daily, hey, there's a new Medicare available, and I would, just wait, and instead of saying, I don't qualify, they would say, how old are you? And then the same kind of call with life insurance. So I would just come back, kind of like Dwayne said, I would ask them a question, well, how old are you? And then they hang up.
Right. They don't want to engage, do they? No. They want to just get the information they want.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Medicare open enrollment starts October 15th and goes through December 1st. And so realize, too, there's a lot of marketing that will be happening at that time. But if it's for Medicare now, I mean, it's just, it's a scam.
That's right. It's a scam. Mark, thank you for calling in. Congratulations, by the way. You were a winner. Appreciate it. Well, we have to take a short break, and when we come back, we will announce our second chance winner from June. You can still join the conversation, though. Give us a call, 877-283-7570. We will have a carry-all tote to give away. Welcome back. We do still have a tote to give away, and we'll get right to those phone lines as promised. I do want to announce our second chance winner for February. That's it. It's Kathy D. of Knoxville, Tennessee. Congratulations, Kathy D. Since you provided your information, when you scan that QR code, well, your tote is probably already on the way. So let's take a few more calls before we still have a carry-all tote giveaway. And we actually right now are going to go to South Carolina and talk to Roger. Roger, how are you? Welcome in.
I'm good, thank you. And I was calling. I went to Walmart 2 days ago to buy a small gift card. And they tell me that they're not selling gift cards at all anymore because of scamming. And I thought you might could just give us some information on that. That's brand new to me. Thank you.
Have you heard that?
So I haven't heard that, but I'm not surprised, and I'm actually a little proud of it, because gift cards are the #1 preferred method of criminals. Crypto's close behind it, or might have even bypassed it, but so criminals will tell you to go buy a prepaid gift card and then give them the numbers off the back or take a picture. Then the gift card, the money is instantly drained. But what we're also seeing, and I think this is probably what he's referring to, is criminals are going into stores and they're taking the gift cards off of the racks, right? The non-loaded gift cards. They're taking pictures of the serial numbers and they're getting the PIN numbers. Then they're putting them back on the rack. So when you buy the gift card and you load the money on it, the criminals with their algorithms, they get a ping that says $500 is on this gift card right now, and instantly they drain it. So this is probably a loss prevention way for Walmart to keep their customers and themselves safe from these criminals. So if you are buying gift cards, I recommend you buy them at the front of the store. Like if you're buying them for a graduation gift or a birthday gift, I mean, who doesn't love getting a gift card? Buy them at the front of the store where more eyes are on them, and then always inspect the front and the back of the gift card to make sure it has not been tampered with, and always save that receipt, because if you do give that gift card to somebody and there's no money on it, you need that receipt for proof.
Absolutely.
So yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's really interesting.
Yeah, because I love giving gift cards, but what a great idea to get them at the front.
Or even online.
That's true.
Buy them online. Yeah.
And sometimes you see that they'll put little signs that beware, be cautious.
Yes.
And so I've been seeing stores say be careful, they could be tampered with. So that's a good tip.
That is good. That is good. Thank you, Roger. You're a winner, by the way. Thank you for calling. And that number, if you need the number and you'd like to call and be part of the conversation, 877-283-7570. And I am loving that we're learning from these folks as well, not only giving information.
Good session.
Talk about, Sean, the after somebody gets caught up in a scam. We hope it doesn't happen, but what do they do then?
Cut off all communications. I mean, just don't try to be Sherlock Holmes and figure out and you're going to get them to stop and get information. Just cut it off. You also need to make sure you notify your bank and credit card companies. Alert them. So if it's been tampered with, you want to get that money back. Also change your passwords ASAP to make sure that they can't keep stealing money out of your accounts. Amy mentioned a little bit earlier, I would say these are free services that are available from your credit card company or your bank, is get that fraud alert put on that system. You can still charge, but again, that notifies that lending institution that something's been compromised and they'll help watch out for you. And I think it's been mentioned before, you can get a credit freeze put on your accounts as well. And while you may need it lifted if you have big purchase items where you need to get that line of credit accessible for other folks, those are two things that are done free by your lending institutions. And you can also get an annual copy of your credit report, creditreport.com, I believe. Annualcreditreport.com. So those are some things to do, and we've got a longer list at Aarp Fraud Watch Network, but again, I think those are some of the first things you need to do.
Yeah. And if I could just add, report it.
Okay.
Report it. Report it to your local law enforcement, report it to us on the helpline, report it to the FBI. Frauds and scams is hugely underreported, financial crimes, and we need people to report it. We need people to share the stories, just like you guys are sharing how you're getting these scams. We need people to report it. I don't really care where you report it, as long as you report it, because law enforcement and regulators need to know these scams are happening.
Right. Definitely do that.
A lot of things to do.
Rodney from Minnesota, welcome into the show. Good to have you. What's your question?
Yes. I bought a couple new phones last fall, and the original phone I have with my Facebook account and all that stuff on, I keep having family members from Michigan hacking into it. And when I go to different parts of Minnesota, they call the places that I'm at. So I put that phone and I shut it off, and I bought two new ones last fall. And the new one I have now, I still get some of the problems. It cut out a lot of it, but I still have problems with them calling places that I go to and stuff, and I'm kind of baffled.
Yeah, unfortunately with technology today, there can be a lot of problems. So I wish I was a technology expert, but I'm not. But I always recommend when people call the helpline, if they think their device is hacked into or if someone's monitoring them, They actually might be. So take it to an expert and have them scrub and clean that device. Set it back to manufacturer setting, get a new SIM card. But just if you know that this is happening, be very cautious of anything you do on that device or say on that device, because we know a lot of the scams right now will get remote access into your device or your computer. And once they're in there, they can steal from you, but they can also leave malware in there and do the tracking like he's talking about. So, take it to an expert, have them look over it, and just be very careful of anything that you say on that device.
Right.
And it's scary.
And of course, our phones are part of just part of us now. It's so hard not to. Yeah. So thank you so much for calling in, Rodney. We appreciate that. Now let's go to Alaska and H.
Right.
Yeah. Welcome in.
Love Alaska.
I've never been. It's a bucket list.
Oh, yeah.
H, are you with us?
Hello.
Hello. Welcome in. You're on the air.
How are you? Thank you. I appreciate you taking my call. We have witnessed a lot of changes in communication over the years. I've gone from the mobile phones to all that stuff. My biggest thing now is that I have my contact list. Very simple, very plain. If I don't recognize that number, I let it go to voicemail, and I tell them that it goes to voicemail. And if they have something to tell me, I will call them back. And that stops all that.
It does.
Very
That's
good.
a very,
It's a
very
great
smart
tip,
move.
right?
Very good.
I mean, I think all of us, if we're not already, we should be doing exactly what H is doing, right? I mean, that's what we say. If it's not in your contact list, let it go to voicemail, and they'll leave a message if they need to. Yeah.
Right, absolutely. I wanted to ask you guys, because I had a friend a few years ago that his hotel card, the little key fob used to get in, he got scammed that way.
Wow.
That they got his information off of that somehow. But I just know with traveling and being out there, and you guys really being out there in front of people, you just don't ever know who's going to go in that hotel room. Or do y'all still stay on the bus? Y'all may stay on the bus. I
No,
don't
we
know.
use those cards, and we still get rooms.
Yeah.
So I've not heard of that, but I thank you for mentioning it.
Well, it's just now because of that happened to him, I definitely, I bring my hotel cards because I travel a lot for this job. I will bring all my hotel cards back home, put it in my trash can, and tie it up.
Yeah.
Just because it's got me so worried now with all the travel that I do that you don't ever know who's looking at what. And I just, I know you guys are still on the road.
You can also cut them up, too.
That's true.
Yeah.
Cut them up, shred them.
Yeah.
I bet both of you have a shredder in your house.
Yes.
Yes.
Or a
absolutely,
big pair of
yeah.
scissors, right?
Went through some last night.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, definitely do that.
I
We
didn't.
still have a few minutes. If you'd like to give us a call, we'd love to hear from you. 877-283-7570. We got them just joining us. You recognize these guys. I know you do. We got the Oak Ridge boys here with us here. We got Dwayne Allen and Richard Sturban. And we've also got with AARP, we've got Sean and Amy, and experts in this particular arena. And you guys come to us with so much information. What's your best advice in helping to keep people safe?
Well, I can certainly talk about fraud forever, as you all know, right? But what I love to hear is what other people are doing, right, in their daily lives. So I'm going to pitch it over to you guys. I mean, Richard, what do you do to keep yourself safe from fraud?
Well, I think you just have to be careful.
Yeah.
I think this gentleman we just talked with, I think, gave us the best advice. If you do not recognize that number, you just don't answer it, and let it go to email. That's the best.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that I try to do. And one other thing, a lot of these things happen online and happen on the phone. It can happen the old-fashioned way, just regular mail.
Yeah,
You can get letters. And people will give you a sob story. And if you don't send a check right here, right now, my grandmother's going to die, for this exact amount. So you have to be very careful there as well, too, I believe.
I think the AI, artificial they've been able to copy voices, and we have a member who was a victim of that.
Oh, my goodness.
And got a call, and they had copied the mother's voice and asked for $500, and she came up with it. But it wasn't her. No. They had copied her voice.
Yeah,
and it was so real, because you can copy somebody's voice now with these applications. And be really careful when people are asking you for money. You ask them some questions first. Yeah. Before you leave the house or before you do anything, ask them some questions that they should know the answer to. And if they can't answer you with the right answers, you immediately start that conversation in a different direction.
Well, we used to always say, trust, then verify. Yeah. Now, it's verify, and then maybe trust. And when it comes to kind of those AI, the voice things, and you guys, your voices are out there, is don't listen for the voice, listen for the ask. What are they asking for? And they were asking for money.
Right. Yeah. You knew that right off the bat. Danara, you are a winner. Welcome into the show and congratulations. Do you have a question?
Hi. I was calling in because I actually do work in IT. I just got into it like 3 years ago with Pivot during COVID. So all of the points that people are making as far as being smart, like not saying yes, those are really valid. If some of you are, I would say, like not as tech savvy, talk to like a trusted family member, because you can do something like install a VPN on your phone. And when you install that and have it connected and turn it on, really your phone becomes like, it just looks like a bunch of letters and words, and they can't see what's going on with your phone. You could do your banking and everything using a VPN. So you want to try to have that VPN installed. There are things that you want to do, like someone talked about the AI thing that happens out here. With AI, people can take 5 seconds. That's all it takes to capture a voice and then clone it. So you should have like Fluffy, and that's like a code word. So if somebody calls you and they say, "Oh, I'm calling from out of the country, and I know I went on vacation, but now I'm having an issue," then say, "Okay, what's the code word?" And if they can't say the code word, hang up. And then you can call that person back and verify. Yeah. And then if there's really something wrong, then you can continue. But those are things that you can do right off the bat that I can think of. There are few things you can do, like using the Chrome app, because Chrome is a little bit more of a privacy privacy tool or a privacy browser that you can use as well. But you want to really start being really careful when you're answering the phone, talking to people. Don't answer a phone if you don't see any kind of name attached to it, and just be very careful out there, because they are looking at any way using AI, or whether they're just like going into your GPS. Oh, that was the other thing. Turn off, please, if I haven't said it before, please turn off your GPS.
Oh, yeah. Good
Don't let people follow you around with your...
Yeah. That's right.
That's right.
That is
great information.
Great information. We appreciate you calling. Guys, all of you here, this has been such an incredible opportunity to learn, help others.
Thank you to all the people who called in tonight. Was active tonight.
To come in. We really, really appreciate it. Of course, that does about do it for us tonight. Don't forget, next month, August 15th, our retirement expert will be here to take your questions. And we would like to dedicate tonight's show to Joe Bonsall of the Oak Ridge Boys. Good night from rural America's most important network.